You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thank you for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by our radio executive producer and friend, Ethan Euchre.
Happy to be here as always.
We have Junior Mint, our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Hey, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And across from me is world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thanks for sharing your time with us.
Hello. How's it going, Doc?
Good.
Good.
You know, it's always good. At the Bonati Spine Institute, people come from all over the globe to seek out the patented, exclusive, and targeted Bonati spine procedures. People have all different problems, and what they're hearing from other doctors, even doctors at renowned facilities, are telling them that they need to be slit down the front, slit down the back. The only option is going through like a 4 to 5 hour surgery where they'll need rods and screws and plates and all of this stuff. And actually, under the pretense of minimal invasion, you see some of these other spine facilities, and they're wanting to have human trials to do things that's so highly invasive under the pretense of minimal invasion. Anytime you put a screw, a plate, that's not minimal invasive.
No, and fully unnecessary, and I would say.
In most cases.
Yeah, in
a majority of cases, yes,
sure.
that's the case. Well, at the Bonati Spine Institute, we have amazing patient-reported success rate. And, you know, I've seen people in my time there get up out of wheelchairs, and they're able to leave on their own. Now, you know, it depends on the damage. Of course, if someone has a severed spine, I think that's one of the areas that we're unable to help, but pretty much anything else, any other pathology, they're able to take care of at the Bonati Spine Institute. With that said, we have an exciting show. We have Eric Douglas that's going to be on to talk about CellScope. It's this cool attachment thing that you put on your cell phone. And then we have Dr. Jane Fitch, Veterans Healthcare Staffing. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, you're going to hear what's new in American medicine today. But up first...
In today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
Well, it is my pleasure to introduce to you on the program Chris Abeyta. Now, he's actually here local, but he resides in New Mexico. So welcome to the program, Chris. Now, why don't you tell us how you first came to be in pain?
4 years ago, I was diagnosed with 2 herniated discs in my lumbar, the S1, L5, and L4, L5.
Okay.
And at that time, my options were a very invasive open back surgery with hardware. I tried multiple injections, steroid injections.
All right.
So I did a lot of research on the internet looking for options. And I did run across the Bonati Spine Institute and made contact with him and was convinced that, this was definitely worth my efforts to give this a try.
Okay, let me ask you something. That 4 years ago when this happened, and you said you had tried some of those shots and other more conservative methods, how did they work for you?
They were all temporary.
Okay. So you looked up Bonati and you decided it was the right place to go. Take it from there.
Yeah, with the success rate, I could see, a lot of the patient outcomes. That was my convincing criteria to come to Florida.
Sure.
To the Bonati Spine Institute.
Okay. And what was it like when you arrived at the facility?
Oh, it was excellent. This is a great place in Florida.
When you arrived and you had to go in either for some more, diagnostics, and then you had the evaluation. Why don't you explain how that went?
The MRIs, they have their own facility on site. So I had already previously had MRIs.
Right.
So they came in, they reviewed them, they took their own MRIs. And basically, once the MRIs were brought in, Dr. Bonati actually reviewed them, and we were able to discuss the issues that I had and indeed he had found a solution to the problems and the pain that I was having.
All right. Now, when you were going through the pain, can you tell everyone that's listening what some of the symptoms were? Was it a localized pain, a radiating pain?
Oh, it was radiating. It actually radiated through the back of my back end, through the back of my thigh, down the side of the calf. Yeah. There was even pain that ran in the front and actually to the top of the foot. Very excruciating pain.
It sounds it.
Mm-hmm.
Very intensive pain.
Okay. Now, we're going to fast forward because you had your first experience at Bonati, and you said that after surgery, how were you doing?
The pain was gone.
Okay.
It was unbelievable.
Now, we fast forward, and you said about 4 months ago you were in a car accident, correct?
That's correct, a rear-end collision.
All right.
And so what happened after that? It's amazing to me how many patients that we speak with who just have dumb luck sometimes, where they've had pain, they've had it fixed, and then it happens again. So you were rear-ended in a car accident. What happened to you to cause pain this time, Chris?
Immediately in the accident, I had pain between my shoulder blades, and it actually came out through my chest. And the other pain was when I would look up, I could get pain radiating, when I was extending my neck, that would actually radiate backwards. So the pain was totally different than my lower back pain.
Sure.
My lower back pain is gone. I have no issues whatsoever with that.
Wow.
And so how was this new pain from this new incident affecting your life day to day?
The pain radiating through my chest, there was absolutely no relief. After the accident, it was pretty high, and that was believed because they thought maybe there was some rib dislocation.
Wow.
So I kind of went through physical therapy, was going through different things, kind of anticipating, listening to my doctors that it was a rib thing, and the pain ultimately never went away. And when I mean never went away, I mean 24 hours a day. It was a lingering pain.
Wow.
And it was a low level, maybe around a 3, but there was absolutely no relief. It would get worse. Sometimes sleeping, the pain would be very intense, and I could reposition, to try to alleviate and get it back to that pain that was constant.
Were you a fairly active person when all these things happened to you?
Extremely active.
Okay.
I'm very active in riding my bike. I practice as a professional electrical engineer. I'm actually in the corrosion profession, so a lot of the work is in the field, working, in the oil and gas.
All right.
Working in municipalities, a lot of field and site work. So, and then on a personal level, I am very active as far as riding my bike and exercising.
So the pain in your chest, I mean, did you ever consider that maybe you were having a heart attack? I mean, that's
what I would think.
That would be worrisome.
And absolutely, it was a respiratory thing, but it was in my chest. So I did a lot of reading, and I had it checked.
All right.
And my normal heart rhythms were normal, and my respiratory was fine.
Right.
It was just, I believe it was a guarding issue for me, is what they were. So no, once I knew that there was really nothing wrong with my respiratory and it was my heart, then it became, evident that, especially with the pain that was radiating in my back, it just wasn't in the front. It was from my back going through my chest.
Ooh.
Chris, we talked to so many of Dr. Bonati and the Bonati Spine Institute patients who, when they developed this pain, like you, they had to go to the internet and seek him out. I don't know that we've ever talked to anybody who's gone through the full procedure and then had the unfortunate situation to need it again. It must have been nice to know that
you knew where to go.
Yeah, you knew where to go. You knew how to fix it. Have you had an opportunity to share that with anybody in New Mexico?
There's a few friends that are aware of my situation. Obviously, when I go back, I'm still in Florida. We'll be returning back to New Mexico this weekend. But there's a lot of people, anticipating to see what my results are and how I fare out. I'm very active. I belong on bike clubs and bicycles.
Right.
So I'm very active. And I also do a lot of CrossFit.
Let me ask you something. In the surgeries, did you watch? Do you remember the interaction?
I did not watch.
Okay, fair enough.
I do believe there was interaction. I don't remember them.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But you knew why it was important to have that interaction because that's what helps you eliminate your pain.
Yeah, and I believe a lot of it is, not doing more than necessary because there is a structural aspect of the vertebrae. So you probably don't want to go too far. You probably just want to do what is necessary.
Yes.
So I believe that's where that feedback aspect comes from.
And Chris, when did you start to, when did you feel your pain going away? A lot of times it happens on the actual operating table. Sometimes it's in the recovery room. Sometimes it's not until later. What was the case in your case?
In the thoracic area, immediately it felt like the arrow or the spear was removed from my chest.
Okay.
I did have maybe 90% or some residual where I could still feel it. It felt like it was higher, and then it kind of radiated more.
Okay.
So 90% relief was immediate.
Okay.
Then after discussing with Dr. Bonati, we went up one other level. After that next level surgery, and I believe it was like a week later, it was all gone. I just had some residual pain in the back, local from, obviously having surgery back there. But the initial complaint in my chest it was gone.
Oh, well, we're glad to hear that, Chris. Dr. Bonati's in studio. If there's anything you'd like to say to him.
I just special thanks to him and all of the staff at the Bonati Spine Institute.
Oh.
Wow. You're getting very expressive, man. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thanks. How is your wife doing?
You know what? That's an amazing story because my wife, she suffered from back pain. She's a mechanical engineer in the power plants, and many years of walking on the concrete. And, now in her latter part of her life, and she suffers from sciatica. So she came to be my caretaker. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting that she was watching these procedures, that she felt comfortable enough in watching and what I was doing in the procedures that she actually had a procedure done while we were here at the Spine Institute, and she's doing wonderful.
Oh, wow.
All right.
That's incredible.
Great.
Glad to hear it. Well, continued good health, Chris, and continued good health for your wife. Hopefully we'll catch up with her soon.
Have a good, have
you
a
take
good
care.
trip back, Chris.
Thanks for joining us, Chris.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Well, another success story here at the Bonati Spine Institute. Well, we have to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to speak with a scientist and self-proclaimed hardware hacker that turned entrepreneur and co-founder of CellScope. See how their device works with cell phones. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
You're listening to American Medicine Today. I am Kimberly Brumell, and we're joined by our radio executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
Always happy to be here.
Senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Hola, thank you for having me.
And that man over there, over yonder, is world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
What's up, Doc?
We are excited because joining us on the line is Eric Douglas, a scientist and self-proclaimed hardware hacker turned entrepreneur, who is also the co-founder and CEO of CellScope, a company which turns your cell phone into a helpful diagnostic tool. Thanks for being here, Eric.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, I have to say, just, for everyone that's concerned, it sounds like amazing technology that can help a lot of people that can't make it to the doctor, but I think there might also be some drawbacks. Let's discuss.
That was a hell of a question for him. No, Eric, it's actually it's
cool.
No, hold on. We weren't laughing at Kimberly. I have to let people know. People who are listening to the show, Kimberly's daughter Bella is adorable, and she went through this phase where after everything she would say, let's discuss. So when you said that, that's what it made me think of.
Flashbacks of her daughter.
And it made me start laughing, so I didn't mean to be...
Wonder where she gets it from.
I didn't want people to think I was being disrespectful. I was just giving Bella some love.
Well, this device is intriguing because my daughter suffers with nonstop earaches, and this has happened since she was a baby. And if I would have been able to attach a device to my cell phone and look into her ear and be able to talk to my doctor and get a prescription that helped her versus waiting a day or two and being out of town and dealing with doctors that didn't know her, I would have jumped for this.
Seems advantageous. So, Eric, tell us exactly what CellScope is and especially what this Odo is, because that's what we're talking about here.
Sure. Well, thanks. Okay. Yeah, so the problem you're describing is really very common. It's ear infections are the most common reason that young children go to the doctor, actually. And so there's over 20 million visits per year in the U.S. for ear infections alone, and we're trying to make it easier for families to be able to connect to a doctor from wherever they may be, from home. And the first product, Odo, which is available now on our website, and really, as you described, it clips onto your phone and it turns it into a high-quality digital otoscope. And we have tools in the software that can help guide you through the process because most parents have never done an ear exam before.
All right.
So we want to make it easy for them and help them understand what they're looking at and knowing they've got a good view of the eardrum. And so, making it easy for them to capture that video, to get the whole exam, and be able to send that up to a doctor for accessing care remotely.
And who gets this footage, Eric? Who are the doctors on call? Do parents send it to their own doctor, or how does that work?
It varies, yeah. And we've got a number of doctors using it with their own patients, and so in that case, they're able to send it up to their doctor and get back a response. We also can connect them with some doctors that we work with directly in case their own doctor is not yet using this sort of technology.
Now, that sort of scope is the one that is very similar to what doctors use in their facilities, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we started out with a very extensive and rigorous clinical validation process where we took the device and worked with partners at Emory University and other comp universities around the country where we were getting the devices out in the clinic and having them try it themselves, having them compare it to their standard otoscope, and see that they were able to make a confident diagnosis based on those images.
Now, what is the typical cost of this device?
So the version for families is $79.
$79. Okay, and right now I see that it's only available to residents in California, correct?
Or has that changed?
No, it's actually changed. Yeah,
it's
recently changed, so it's now available around the country.
All right.
Interesting.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
For that $79, I'm reading that
what does it include? Yes.
Sure. Yeah. So we are expanding the service as well. So with the purchase of the Odo, it also gets you the first visit with one of the remote doctors that we can connect you with. And also in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be expanding our new broadened app, which now lets you do images of things like skin and other conditions to be able to send that up to the doctor. Really having a high-quality imaging platform to enable better remote interactions between the family at home and the doctor.
That sounds nice, and forgive me because I'm not trying to be combative, but what do you think this is going to do for the medical industry? Do you think more people are going to rely on this device versus going and seeking the care they need from a physician in person?
And is it lesser quality care?
Well, but what if a child had something worse than an ear infection, something like meningitis?
Sure.
Could one
Yeah,
talk about
that? That I think about it is a lot like calling the nurse helpline. It's a way to get immediate information on what's going on. And so, you wake up in the middle of the night, your child's crying. Right now, your options are take them into urgent care, take them to the ER, maybe try and make an appointment for the next day.
Sure.
And so, with technology like this, we can offer people access either to their own doctor or another doctor much more quickly. And so, oftentimes they do still go in, but now they have a sense of what's going on, and they've got a little more peace of mind that helps them guide their decision-making process.
No, I think on the surface, for sure, it sounds like like another tool that could be very advantageous, very useful for parents. But I know
shouldn't replace.
It certainly shouldn't replace actual care face-to-face with your doctor. We've talked about telemedicine many times before, and again, there's some ease of that, some comfort. But again, you're face-to-face with your doctor. You can't replicate that.
Yeah.
Eric, would it be fair to say that this technology is almost like nowadays here in Florida, everywhere, the different drugstores, I think, and even some of the big box stores, they have what I like to refer to as a doc in a box, where you can go in and have some basic diagnostics done if you have a sore throat, ear infection, things of that nature. Would it be fair to say that this technology is just kind of making the doc in a box concept available online?
Yeah, that's part of it, and it's the technology tools to connect people from care. So it may be a new doctor, but it's often their own doctor, and so it's really supplementing that care that they're already getting and helping them get those answers immediately without having to wait several days for an appointment. It also, especially for ear infection, follow-up visits are really helpful, and so being able to take a watchful waiting approach where, sometimes the use case is the doctor will see the patient in person and recommend they get an Odo and send them a follow-up image in a couple days so they can see how it's resolving and not have to jump right into using the antibiotics.
Interesting technology. Eric Douglas, a self-proclaimed hardware hacker turned entrepreneur. Thank you for discussing with us the invention of CellScope and the Odo.
Thanks, Eric.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You take care.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great day. All right.
Well,
I mean, it is interesting.
It is.
But like Doc says, it'll never replace face-to-face with an actual physician. But
if I would have had something like that for Bella a few years ago, we would have been a lot better off. Instead, it took us 3 days to get an appointment with a doctor we didn't know.
Let's discuss.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we'll discuss Dr. Jane Fitch, former president of the American Society of Anesthesiologists. She is going to be on next to discuss this disgusting legislation about the veterans and the health care that they're going to receive. Stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our radio friend and executive producer, Ethan Euchre.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and we have... I'm always torn. We have Joe Cool over there across from me, world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. I was waiting for the whole, exactly. Okay, and then we have our think tank extraordinaire, Junior Mint, our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
I kind of like the sound of senior fellow. But the
yes.
Junior Mint kind of...
Well, you ruined the whole thing.
Ruins the whole thing, Kimberly.
You sound, every time when they say that, I imagine a bird.
Well, actually, we're excited because this time we have on the line with us Dr. Fitch. But let me get into why we have her on the line. There's a new proposed legislation that would remove physician anesthesiologists and replace them with nurses during surgery on veterans. And she is going to talk about it. And she is Dr. Jane Fitch, former president of the American Society of Anesthesiologists. So thank you for being here, Dr. Fitch.
Oh, you're very welcome, Kimberly.
So what is this whole scandal, and I call it that because it is, of the Veterans Healthcare Staffing Improvement Act?
It's a scam.
Well, obviously, we owe the most to our veterans for what they've putting their life on the line.
Yes,
and we, as physician anesthesiologists, want to make sure that they get the absolute best, safest health care.
Right.
And we think in anesthesiology that comes with the anesthesia care team approach, with physician-led anesthesia care. Right. And that has served our veterans and our VA well for many, many years, several decades.
Okay.
But what they are proposing now is to have all advanced practice nurses practice independent of any physician supervision or direction or oversight. And knowing the high acuity of our veteran patient population, they're 15 times sicker than the comparable Medicare age patient.
Correct.
That just absolutely is the wrong patient population in which to do this.
I have to ask, do you think that they're doing this because they think it's a cost savings to them?
No, what we think and what we have heard is that they are doing this to address an access issue, and we are all in agreement that they may well have access issues in primary care, and that represents 85% of all the advanced practice nurses within the VA system. The 15% that are the nurse anesthetists are involved in acute care, critical care, and surgery and anesthesia, and that's a totally different patient population. And in fact, we don't have any proof that that's a significant access issue with the VA.
Well, this is great. They're going to give better access to worse care.
Mm-hmm.
How do you put somebody in charge that had 1,650 study hours versus someone who had between 12,000 and 16,000 hours?
Well, and that's why Dr. Fitch is such a great guest, because she's been on both sides of this coin. She was a nurse, and then she went on to get her actual medical school training.
Right,
get
but
her
she
MD.
got the training.
Right. So I'm saying she has seen both sides. What are the differences in training?
I went back and did 9 additional years, and I will tell you it is twofold. It is length of training that's dramatically different. You just quoted the years and the hours, but more importantly, it's depth of knowledge. So, again, when we're in there, we're not in there just simply addressing the technicalities of the anesthetic. We're in there as that patient's internist in the operating room, managing all of their different medical conditions, because we've done that before. We're in there helping the body respond to all the surgical perturbations that happen when they're having a surgery or a procedure. You know, most of the time, and I'm sure Dr. Bonati would agree, when things happen in an operating room, it is very rare that it is an isolated anesthesia-related problem. It is almost usually a problem that relates to an underlying medical condition or a surgical condition. And that surgeon or that physician anesthesiologist knows a lot more underlying medicine and surgery than that nurse anesthetist. You know, nurse anesthetists are great members of our anesthesia care team. They've been around for over 150 years, and we think we get the best care working together in that care team mode. Where we're concerned about patient safety is to not have that physician-led anesthesia care team.
Okay, but who's really behind this legislation? Because even the VA's own experts on surgical care, surgical anesthesia care, they stated that there's a policy saying that when you substitute nurses for physicians, it would directly compromise the patient's safety and limit our ability to provide quality care to veterans. Who is behind this?
Well, this is being driven by the creation of a nursing handbook put together by the Office of Nursing Service within the Veteran Health Administration. And in particular, the VA functions off of these handbooks, and they've never actually had a nursing handbook. Currently, the nurse anesthetists reside in the existing anesthesia handbook, and that describes physician-led, team-based care, deference to state law, and that's what we're saying needs to continue because it served the VA well. But we think they're driving it for this primary care access issue, and what we're saying is, well, please, by all means, recognize that surgery and anesthesia is critical care medicine, quite different from primary care medicine. When seconds matter and minutes matter between life and death and brain damage or no brain damage, you can never be too well educated or trained to function in that environment and provide care for those patients.
Okay, so let me ask this. Do you think because they passed Obamacare, and Obamacare tries to remove the physicians from medicine and put nurses in under the pretense of healthcare provider, medical provider, they're doing it with the citizens of the United States. Do you think because they've started that, now they're transitioning it to the care of our veterans who give their lives to support the United States and watch over our freedoms? This is what they do to protect those people?
That's our concern. We're saying, look, we've asked our veterans to put their lives once on the line before for our country, and we certainly don't want to risk them doing it again for their health care, nor do we want to create a two-tiered health care. Go to the VA for nursing care and come to your community hospital or whatever for physician care. That's not the message we want to send. Everything in all of healthcare is going towards team-based care and physician-led team-based care. That's the direction we want this to go.
I'm just disgusted by this whole thing. And not to get totally off topic, but there was just another VA scandal where they were talking about constructing another hospital that went $1 billion over budget, and then all the people in charge at the VA got raises. But yet now they're giving worse and worse care to our veterans by removing doctors and replacing them with nurses. I don't understand how they're allowed.
It's sad because, the notion of all of our physician extenders is a terrific concept. It really allows for more comprehensive care and more widespread care. But yet where people are going awry is with thinking a physician extender is now a physician replacement. And that absolutely couldn't be further from the truth, especially for acute care, critical care type medicine like surgery and anesthesia.
Well, what can we do?
Oh, by all means, every single person on the planet can help by going to safevacare.org and sending a note to the VA to let them know they must maintain physician-led team-based care. safevacare.org. It's as easy as that. Physician community needs to respond. We need to have all of our family and friends respond. Certainly all of the veterans out there that will be the recipients of care in our VA facilities need to respond. We've been tracking data for well over the last decade, and it has been consistent over the last dozen years that 70 to 80% of all patients want physicians to lead their health care.
Dr. Fitch,
so again, yes.
Who is sponsoring the Veterans Healthcare Staffing Improvement Act? Somebody in Congress has to sponsor it to get it on the agenda. Who is that? We want to talk to him.
It's currently being sponsored by Senators Merkley in Oregon and Senators Round in South Dakota. And also it has been signed on by Senators Tillis in North Carolina, Warner in Virginia, Shaheen in New Hampshire, and Wyden in Oregon, and Tester in Montana, and Brown in Ohio. So obviously ASA strongly encourages everyone to contact your legislators to let them know to oppose this and not take away physician oversight for the surgery and the anesthesia care that our veteran patients receive.
Do you by chance know the party affiliation with those gentlemen?
That was going to be my next question.
Excuse me?
Do you know the party affiliation?
Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry, I don't. I mean, certainly I could guess, but I actually don't have that. I just have a list of their names with their states.
We'd love to talk to them.
Yeah, we'll try to get them on.
And ask them the logic
why they're
of
doing this.
Exactly.
Right. And the other thing is, I mean, the VA needs to listen. We've had over 90 different legislators communicate their concerns about this with the VA, so the VA needs to be responsive and listen to those legislators. We've had veteran service organizations write letters to the VA and discuss this issue at meetings with the secretary, at the Big Six meetings. We certainly have reached out to...
hopefully David Jolly, because David Jolly is supposed to be an advocate. Yes.
And we've reached out to lots of leadership within the VA.
Okay.
But again, the big group within the VA that really needs to forum with VA leadership are the chiefs of anesthesia.
Okay.
They sent a letter, and they've really yet to have any sort of a meeting or a forum with the VA leadership, and they're the experts on anesthesia within the VA.
Okay, well,
so
we're
again,
running...
critically important to have the VA listen to their chiefs of anesthesia on this.
Certainly. We'd love to have you back on if they make any significant changes in this. Dr. Jane Fitch, former president of the American Society of Anesthesiologists. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much, Kimberly, for helping get the word out.
Absolutely.
SafeVacare.org.
Take care. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
This is a topic I think we could all discuss for quite some time.
Well, because now it's just legislation, we're going to have to follow the progress or hopefully lack thereof progress.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get one of these esteemed legislators on the air to see what they have to say.
We'll check it out. All right.
I have my thoughts on who heads this up. Well, that about...
No, we have
wraps
more.
It up for this particular segment.
Whoa, jumping all down.
Whoa. we have one more segment. It's one you don't want to miss.
Trying to ease on down the road.
It's Barack's Crock. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll catch you on the flip side of the break. Bye-bye. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thank you for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our radio executive producer and friend, Ethan Euchre.
Pleasure to be here.
We have our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Hey, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
And across from us, world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati, the Bonati Spine Institute. He has his glasses on.
He does?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
He has his sunglasses on.
Okay.
Where?
Around his neck.
Oh.
Anyway.
I wasn't picking up what you're going for.
No
Anyway,
wonder I'm looking funny.
The future's so bright.
Well-
I'm supposed to have my eyes, but
Well, you know, it's kind of both. It's like American Medicine Today and Barack's Crock, because we smell something that really reeks.
Now it's time to see what Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, President Obama, and the Democrats have simmering in Washington, D.C. Let's see what's cooking in Barack's Crock.
Well, this is a takeoff on Dr. Jane Fitch, who was just on with us discussing this proposed legislation. Dr. Bonati, why don't you take it from there?
well, I'm really tired to see so much misbehavior and mismanagement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, probably I'm not capable to understand why the legislators continue playing with the life of the veterans.
Yes.
I don't understand why this type of paperwork that is typical of the lawyers, that they lawyer up the thing to death, and they never have any results.
Just let me interrupt for one quick second, Doc, for people that are just joining us and missed the last segment. What we're talking about is proposed legislation called the Veterans Healthcare Staffing Improvement Act, which is laughable, where supposedly physician anesthesiologists are going to be replaced by nurses during surgery on veterans, which
is not a good thing.
Does not seem like a very good thing.
Good to get. Thank you to help me.
Just resetting for people that didn't hear the last segment, so they don't know what we're talking about.
This new legislation is number 2279, and the proposed legislation is so absurd that makes me totally upset, because you cannot continue playing with the veterans' lives.
Yes.
The veterans, you need to understand that when you remove a surgeon or an anesthesiologist or an MD from the treatment to the veteran and replace with less professionally trained individual, you're playing with the life of that veteran.
Okay.
I don't know who is the intelligent to create this law, or is trying to propose this law. But you need to understand that the anesthesiologist is an individual who has around 12 to 14 years of training, and some 16 years of training for be able to become an anesthesiologist. And they have 12,000 to 16,000 hours of clinical knowledge. And then you are going to replace that individual with somebody who has 1,600 hours of training. To me, that is asinine, is irresponsible, and the idiot who is creating this legislation, I think, should be shot. Because the truth is, you need to understand that the veterans are individuals that they have different types of illnesses.
Would that shot come from a nurse? You know, because they're replacing the anesthesiologist. No, don't go there.
Okay.
Anyway,
but I was trying to tell you from where they need to come. Let me tell you this: when you replace an anesthesiologist and you have somebody sleep and a surgeon is operating, you need to realize that the individual who is under the anesthesia is an individual who can be a veteran from the Second World War, from the Korean War, from the Vietnam War, or from the recent wars. So each one of these individuals, they have different needs. Some of those ones, they have different types of illnesses. They are affected by different types of problems.
Right.
And if you go ahead and replace with somebody who is practically, I'm not going to call the nurse anesthetist incompetent, but it's not a doctor.
Right, their skill level is nowhere near
exactly.
where it should be.
Not, with 16,000 hours for one and 1,650 for the other. Come on.
And it's a very good point, Doc, that a lot of these veterans are getting up there in age. They have different, so it's a lot more risky.
Well, and to pass a law like that, I think is lack of criteria. It's typical of the Democrats, and it's typical of individuals that they don't really care.
Right.
The Veteran Administration needs to be close. They need to get the veterans to a health care that is on the nation, independent, and they need to go wherever they need to go so they can receive a good quality health care.
Well, the thing that amazes me, on this write-up itself, it says the VA's own experts on surgical anesthesia care, the chiefs of anesthesiology, have told VA leadership that a policy substituting nurses for physicians would directly compromise patient safety and limit our ability to provide quality care to veterans. And
the VA's own experts are saying this is a bad idea.
Itself.
Well, the only thing that these politicians and these lawyers are looking is how they are going to save money so they can spend more money at the expenses of the veterans.
Right.
This thing is ridiculous, and at the same time, it's extremely dangerous.
I want to know what David Jolly thinks about this, because isn't he their advocate, their voice? And I don't believe he's taken part in this at all.
I hope not.
No, in fact, I reached out to his rep,
Yes.
who I know very well, and he said that David Jolly just got married. I don't know if anybody knows that. So
No,
he
but
actually...
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. And he left for his honeymoon. Otherwise, he would have been on the show with
Yes.
us. But I assure you that his rep tells me he had nothing to do with this legislation.
This demonstrates so well, though, once again, the veterans of this country who give this country the most, in many cases, life, limb, years of dedication. And then how do we repay them?
With substandard
with
care.
Shabby, substandard, some may say scab care.
Yeah, but you know, we keep talking about that. We have really fantastic words that we issue or that we talk about. But you know, there need to be action. We need to stop this talk about, and we need to be action.
Absolutely.
I want to hear who's behind this legislation,
Yes.
and
Well,
they need to be
let's get them
voted
on the show,
out.
Ethan.
We'll dig around.
They
and
need to go
find
bye-bye.
who did it. So
Just like this segment.
Yep.
I
we're out of
promise
time.
you that this is a group of Democrats.
We're out of time.
I can assure you it probably is.
Yeah.
And they'll probably never come on the show.
I know. We wish they would, though. We'd love to find out your point of view and why you would do this to the people that give their lives for this country. You're listening to American Medicine Today. Make sure you tweet at Dr. Bonatti, at hashtag American Medicine Today or hashtag AMT. You can catch us on WFTS ABC 28 Saturdays. Check your local listings, and nationally on Bloomberg both Saturdays and Sundays. Again, check your local listings. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.